Hello YouTube. So today had a decent amount of people asking about boa gameplay. Unfortunately it's like no boas on the ladder. Or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. But so I actually asked one of my friends to play boa against me for a few games. I don't remember exactly how many games it is. But they're a good player. So just figured I'd show these. And yeah, same list as always. Just show a general game plan of what I'm trying to do against boa generally. Had a decent amount of people say that like they think like they can't starve the deck, um like it's not working, and it's because you just don't do that. Like you can wait your first swing sometimes. Like if I don't have promo law here, I'm not gonna risk a trigger out of his first life. But because I do, I'm not too worried about it. um but yeah, if I don't have promo law, I usually don't swing turn one. Other than that though, I do just hit them. I think we're not really looking for anything with Rosi Searcher. Like a Rosi Law would be fine, but we don't necessarily need it right away. And like decent chance it'll whiff, so might as well not go neg one. Probably just gonna Saka Pummel Law next turn. Free block. um Actually I should speed this up too. I think there is a decent amount of games. Um but yeah, I think a lot of Boa players there would just like hit me to zero, and I would just take, clear board and heal. Um I'd go like Borsa Promo Law, just punch these twice. Could still do that to be fair. Um but yeah, I have practiced against this guy before, so he knows like I want to just take the zero like that. So he's trying to get cards out of my hand by punching the law basically, which is smart. I don't remember what I decided to do here. Okay. Let's clean up this stuff. Punch once, decide to float the Rosie Law just so we don't lose too many cards this turn. He does have Boa. We free block, and as soon as he turns this, that's like ideal for us. I don't actually think he's supposed to turn these this turn. But now we just Saka Mama this, punch both of these, and basically tell him to go for it with Femur. Not actually even positive we live with Femur here, to be honest, though. But I think a lot of times they're not going to send it anyway. Stage whiffing is very unfortunate. Um, yeah, so we do die to Femur here, actually. But again, they're just not going to send it most of the time. I think swinging with this law is just a mistake as well. He decides to do this, which is a smart way of getting cards out of hand. So yeah, he triggered this body off of my law swing, right? Is that what happened? Yeah. I don't think I should swing this law. Um And I think as far as stage whiffing, that's also obviously very unfortunate, but if stage doesn't whiff, we actually live femur if we find I love you, which I think is not too unlikely. But yeah, so once all this happens, we have to let that go, give some cards. But it's not actually like that bad of a spot, right? We can just Borsa Borsa. Moria trigger is very annoying. Into a Boa. And I decided to just play Rosi Law instead of second Borsa. I can do that next turn. Should maybe be Saka pitch over Rosi Law. I want to free up board anyway, so I'll just make him commit. I think it should be Saka pitch over Rosi Law. And then I decide to aside. If we still got life, I think I was actually just gonna take. But I decide not to block take. I think I should have though, to be honest. I think I should just block take there. I don't think I should give the I love you. So I think that's another mistake. Again, neither of us play perfect. Kind of just showing the general idea of what I'm trying to do, as well as how the like game plan normally functions, and is learning from both of our mistakes. So I think I should have just took the 0 last turn, and then we just don't lose the second I love you. If he wants to swing 10 with the marigold, we were fine, right? So it would have been a good spot for us. So definitely a mistake there, I think. And now he's got 3 blockers, so he's not scared. So he just plays a big body that we can't really interact with. And we have a full board, but we're not trying to kill, so just block. And this trigger, like... Oh, wait. No, he doesn't necessarily play around Riplaw. Yeah, so we get the Riplaw here. Probably should have just played it for 4. I also think we should have mamaed the Boa. The blocker there and just not hit it. Just so he can't make us take life like that. I think that would have been better from us. Here there is lethal threats for sure. I think you just counter the 7. Get heal law in case we're playing another turn. I think I just block that. Block that in the gravity blade definitely hurts a lot. Could add a 2k, but I decided I'd rather find a Borsa or a Rosi Law for my heal law. We find the Borsa. We do hit this Zoro. I think we should just hit life. I think he has a full board. He doesn't necessarily want to take life before cleaning up a board in case he gets a trigger anyway. But we're kind of just cleaning up the board, I guess. So it's like reasonable. I'm still just not sure it's correct though. I think I do highly prefer those 8s go at life. And like if he wants to block, he can block. But from here, it's kind of like a very rough spot. I don't think we're killing him, so just block the 10. Once again, looking for a Rosi or Borsa. Find both, decide Borsa is safer. I think that's probably incorrect though, because we probably can't afford to play safer. We kind of have to like end this game soon. I think we've wasted a lot of resources this game with how we've defended, and then not played as aggressive as we could have in some spots. And then he's just correctly identifying that he doesn't even have to send lethal here. Yeah, then from here we just lose because he gets the block with Marigold if we swing it all to make us take the life, which is what happens, and then we're just dead. So I think it came down to like everything here was fine. This law swing was just incorrect, I think, as well as not just block taking with Rosi here. Safety, I love you. And then some of the swings that we did should have been more aggressive towards life instead of cleaning up the board in some spots. And then these next two games actually, we'll skim through them real quick, but it's gonna be a quick lesson in what not to do. um, Yada yada. Find Rosi Law. You see, I just didn't do anything on 3. I didn't swing at all because I don't have promo law, so I don't want the game to accelerate too fast. That's fine. Take. It's a Zoro. Play Zoro. Here I swing because I'm gonna have the Rosi Law. Gets the trigger. Find the Kobe. Free block. He doesn't want to swing the Zoro because he doesn't want me to punch into it. It's reasonable. Here again, quick lesson on what not to do. With this board state, if I do what I'm gonna do and play Rosi Law and he G Blades, you just lose. So I should just play Sokka here for sure. Should play Sokka, swing with 5 at life, and then like assume he counters 5, even if he takes, like sure, but I should just not do this. I swing, he takes, gets 2 triggers. G Blade, I lose. There's nothing else that's like if I Sokka there, it's much more reasonable, and if I don't swing the Rosi Law, it's a much more reasonable. Then he has 4 characters on board instead of 5. He can't get rid of both. Maybe he still G Blades my one Rosi Law, to be honest. I'm not sure. But we just don't swing that Rosi Law as soon as he triggers out of. If he takes like 5, I would go 5 with leader, obviously, right? And if he takes and triggers, then we just don't swing the Rosi Law. If he takes and doesn't trigger, we can consider swinging Rosi Law, and if he counters, we can consider swinging Rosi Law. But yeah, that was just all incorrect, basically. From here, it's just game. Okay, I was about to say, like, there's no way we came back from that. Alright, so that game was just dead. Once again, a shit hand. I think I decided to YOLO it here. It's also kind of testing. I don't think you should swing, but I didn't have anything in hand. So I was like, very much down to just YOLO a body, and if he triggers it, just take to try and find a play. Was like the main thinking. Gives me like Borsa plays, or technically I have Riplaw plays, right? But it's not ideal. Trying to find Rosie Law, don't find it. Again, I don't think either of these two games are really too good. This just kind of quickly showing what not to do. I still think swinging there is fine without the promo, just because I was trying to find a play. So if I took, I wasn't too worried about it because I was trying to find something to get back into the game. Here it is a very. It's a little too. It's like a turn too early to take the 0, unfortunately. But like I would still take the 1, and then it's just like awkward. Then we just play the Rosie Law, and I think we just get blown out by G Blade again. Yeah. Like slowly try to come back. It's just not really feasible. We died unblockable eventually. I'm not too interested in showing how the rest of this goes. I think we mainly missed it and then had to play in the G Blade and got blown out by some triggers. This one was just a bad hand, in all honesty. Do have a few more games though that are a little bit better indicator of how the matchup normally goes for me. Again, I think most boas aren't going to be as good either. So there's that to consider. You can call that bad mentality if you want, but I have found most boas actually don't know how to play the matchup, so it's very favored. But obviously, if they know what they're doing, anything's harder for any matchup. I think I have Pummel Law. I might decide not to swing here based on the fact that they played the Grandma. I don't remember. To be honest, when it comes to, I always swing past turn 1, but when it comes to the first turn, I kind of just base it on gut. To be honest, I don't think there's a hard and fast rule on swinging turn 1 or not. If you want to make one, it's probably just, do you have promo? You know. If you have promo, swing. If you don't. It's probably the safest rule. But it was a boa, a Gorgon Sisters. Still down to speed this up actually. He went 6. I just free block because I want him to make him commit to turning the board sideways if he's trying to get cards. 8, I just take. I guess he just had nothing in hand. He goes 9. I think you could let this die. I think I decide to save it, but you definitely could let it die. If I don't have I love you, I don't know. I think my thinking was I want to punch these next turn and I want to make sure they both die. So now I'm just gonna Borsa Riplaw. I think this is good. That's the main reason I. Of course, he gets a trigger body. If he doesn't get a trigger body, like one of these lives, it's just cooked for them, I think. But the main reason I saved it was to make sure I could clear his board next turn. And I didn't think my leader swing would necessarily be enough. Here, if we have Saka Mama here, I think we're also, like, just chilling. But we just haven't found a Saka, unfortunately. And just infinite triggers out of life, of course. I don't know. I don't feel like most even play this 4-cost boa, but it's fine. It's like a greedy swing on my end there. Kind of make myself play the Borsa instead of a Rosie Law. Yeah, I'm just trying to use the Dawn while I can. So you don't have Borsa. But our hand is not terrible. It's just the threat of 20k femur. Um, which can we get out of? We can get to 13, 17. We can get to 19, but we're actually going to cycle this mama. And then we're also going to cycle off stage. So we can get to 18, so we need like 3k counter off of the next two cards. Departure is that, to be fair. Rest the 5 cost, because we can rest the 4 cost with Boa. I mean, with X-Drake, technically, if we want to later. Next action should be stage. It could arguably be a second Rosi Law that we're supposed to get rid of, but of course it's another trigger, and so now I'm just gonna play it safe. I can't really afford to give up any cards if he tries to poke before femur. And we can live femur, right? We have 5 2s. We just do another off Rosi. That's 15, 19. Yeah, we can. So we give 15, 18. So we have 3k extra counter. One extra 1 and 1 extra 2. Which basically means we can keep Kobe to find a Borsa. If they do it. But I didn't want to be forced to give any cards for like pokes at these if we don't have enough blockers up before the femur. He does decide not to go for it. It's a little weird. I think he says he messed up, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe not. We find a Borsa. It's a question of, do we want to... I was trying to find Sokka for the Boa, but honestly it's a little greedy. We could just departure this Boa. And it's like, just safer. But did I have departure at the beginning of this? And Borsa? I didn't have Borsa, okay. So we find a Levy, find Borsa. So now we have to decide, we could like Rosi Borsa, or we could clear his one big body. I'm pretty sure I decided to clear his one big body. So we're just deciding to get rid of stage or Rosi Law. Decide to get rid of the stage. Decide to swing 8, another 8. This 8 is definitely risky. I actually should do math here. Because, like, if we can live, we should swain another 8 or 9 even. I don't think it really matters how they split the Dawn. So I think it is just straight combat math. So we can go 5, 5, 5, 5, 6. So we can live even if swinging the Rosi Law. So we should just swing the Rosi Law. Yeah. We should just swing. Tell him to kill us. His board's not big at least. It's just wide. So if we can live to his combat math, because none of these attach us to Dawn, so there's no like femur math to do or anything, we should just swing the Rosi Law. Counter the unblockable, he passes. Just swing out, and then here's just like Borsa Rosi Law every time. So is definitely interesting, but I think I'd rather play the Rosie. Then I'd actually like to just develop the stage. I don't feel like bluffing another I love you. Um, Arguably should get rid of I love you over the Norobeam. Just because Norobeam will make it so we probably can kill him the turn after next. But I think I decided he's probably dead either way. Like, it's not going to make a big difference. Once I find the mama, side goes 7. Like, decent chance they die here. Moya in life, though. Once he blocks that, I decide I'll just control the board a little bit and live another turn. Let's play Borsa here. I don't want to play into any female shenanigans, but also, like, we can counter female shenanigans. I should just take that 10. I should just take that 10 there. That was, like, too scared of an insta-block. I don't know what I'm doing here. So here, 5 goes through, 8 goes through, 8 block. He has to counter 2 swings, so he needs triggers basically. But we all know this deck can trigger. Okay, but no triggers happened. But I should have had the Borster to help me go for game 2. Like, I was just never dead if I took that 10, so I should just take. Um, that matchup was a little bit more standard to how it normally goes. It's a little awkward because just has infinite blockers, and I don't think that quite usually happens, but you know, he's just better. And again, even if he swung 20k on block with that one turn, we weren't dead. And I think we'd be fine to stabilize if that's what he spent his whole turn doing. Or like go for game. But maybe not. Maybe if he did swing 20, we just give too many resources there. Hard telling, not knowing. Here, trash hand. I decided to just swing because if he triggers, I'm down to take, so I can at least play Borsa on my 5. No trigger, unfortunately. We do find Rosie Law though. Lucky. Should leader effect first, but like this deck doesn't really play any triggers that would fuck that up. Like theoretically. I think any of those are actually fine options to search here. Second Rosie Law is fine. You just can't really play it next turn because of Gravity Blade. Kobe to search another Sokka or I Love You, or Rosie to try and find a Heal Law or Whip Law. I think they all would have been a-okay to search. Swing 6, I decided to just take. So here once again, we can't play Rosie Law, or we just get blown out by Gravity Blade. Playing Sokka kind of sucks because it's our only one, but it still is the correct play for sure. If we had a promo law, even Riplaw, but Permalaw is better because you don't really want to go Dawn -2 here, but you can sometimes. I would probably be down to Borsa double develop, but Sokka's good. Um, Here it's just a question of do you swing this Rosie Law? It's kind of hard to say because we next turn is the turn we want to take the 0 and clean up his board. Um, so we kind of want to force him to put his board sideways. The more characters he has on board, the more likely he is to do that. But also, like, he has too many characters for us to clean up anyway, right? So I decided not to. The ideal plan here is free block 1, take 2, give like 1 card for 1. Does depend what they decide to do though, of course. I just minus the Borsa because it's the biggest body, and I'd be down for here I think I free block. Minus Borsa gets a big body, and I'm down for him to swing the Amazon so I can kill them all at once. Here it's very awkward again. It's gonna start Sokka and see what stage draws. I'm really trying to find a Sokka for this teach. It makes the game much easier if you can just Sokka Mama these on curve. Most matchups become easier when you can do that, you know? Finding I Love You though, just get that so we have counter. To not be too scared. 5, 8. Kind of expect him to block and make us take life with one of these. He does just trigger and play over a body. That's not too bad for us at least. Okay, instead of... Because I could have played Rosie Law Borso, but I guess I wanted to get 2 cards out of his hand. I think that's fine too. I think he could have Rosie Law Borso. But this lets us float Dawn as well, where we wouldn't have been able to before. So, I think that's reasonable either way there. So we weren't able to find a way to answer this 10 drop. We again want to take the 0 here, but we don't want to give up cards while doing it, so it's just awkward in how we should defend this. I think giving 1 card there is maybe questionable, to be honest. Yeah, just block leader effect. If I don't give a card here, if I just free block, we take the 0, we give it a blocker instead of a 2k, but we don't really need this on board. It's kind of clunky. Maybe should just free block the 6, and then well, I guess if anything, he could then just go like 7 at Borsa with their leader. Kind of same thing at that point if they do that. Okay. Again, want to take the 0 so we can hit the stuff this turn without being too scared to do so. We have 2 10 drops, so obviously we don't need to do the standing one, so we can clean up that other blocker as well. Yeah, very standard turn there. We ideally wouldn't have to be staring down a 10k here, but obviously, like, we're not dead if they do go 20. Got 13, 19. We have to give Borsa. That's unfortunate. I have to give Borsa, and technically I'm not allowed to counter at all. But again, they have to be ballsy enough to go for it anyway. Here, you can block 2 or you can just block. I think it's reasonable either way. I think I actually like uh, blocking better, just to free up more board space. But I guess we really wanted to get back the Riplaw. And then, like, technically, we would have preferred to play that with leader effects. But it's just kind of awkward with how our board was to, unless we just get put back active Dawn. But what did? Oh, let me relook at it again. Actually, okay, we drew Kobe off of stage, so we didn't have the Kobe. Okay, we drew promo for turn, Kobe off of stage. Yeah, like you could argue to play Borsa quick and then I think it's probably fine. If anything, I don't think we're hurting for Dawn when we have 2 Sagas, so if anything, should just minus an active Dawn for the Riplaw probably. And then you play it for 3 instead of 4. It's still probably better to do it that way. Fortunately, we're on a little bit of a clock now because he has all these 10Ks on board. So because of that, I think I just decide to YOLO lethal this turn. We do have a way to answer the Sandra Sonia blocker. And he has so he'll have 2 life, 1 blocker against 6 swings. So he'll have to counter 3 swings with 5 in hand, and theoretically probably have a Dawn on leader, so no Dawn open. Like they definitely could keep the Dawn open, but then once they do this, we know they're not. But yeah, so I just decided to give him a whole hand and go for game. It's kind of a tough call whether you should. I don't have X-Tricks anyway, but if you had X-Trick, it's kind of like a tough call on whether you should swing first. I don't think it's that tough, but like, it's just weird because they have we know he's on more of these 5K blockers, right? So kind of would like to save Mama for that potential trigger, but also don't really want to play over anything or waste 3 Dawn. Also don't want to waste 2 Dawn by getting rid of Active Dawn before swing, but it's still probably correct in order to play around them doing the smart thing and just blocking first swing. If I go like 7 with leader, they probably just block with that. Like if they do, maybe there's a world where we can play another turn, because we can Boysa and float all of our blockers, and maybe even play another one. So like you could do it that way. You could start 7 if they do block right away. You could swing like 8-8, see if anything else happens, and then sorry, brain fart. See if anything else happens, and if it looks feasible, you could play Borsa plus like another blocker, plus like you could maybe play Rosi Law with it, but that or the promo is fine. But part of this being friendlies, and they were on a limited time schedule, so I was trying to get in as many games as possible. Kind of all that combination kind of made me decide to just send the lethal. Swing this first to play on a teach trigger. We do find departure, so we can departure Mama here, but I don't really want to do it until we have to, because it's bad. It's like really bad math. But once he triggers, now we have to, right? We don't have a. another option if we're trying to still send lethal this turn. We have to rest the Borsa. So I do decide to send it. 888. Um, just barely get there, luckily. I don't think you had to YOLO it that bad. Even after that trigger, you could have maybe played Borsa over like a Saka. Well, no, you play it over one of these, obviously, but like you could play Borsa float 2 blockers. You might live. I mean, they have. Nah, you're just dead, actually. Nah, you gotta send it. Hey, infinite triggers all game. Can't have them all. Hope they run out. Then last game. We finally see our promo long curve again. I think all of these are like tough questions. Second Suck is probably like the last option here, but it's still not bad. Boris is good. I Love You is good. But I think I'd go with Rosi. Just to have a weenie on board for a potential Sokka swings, as well as trying to find a 2K law. Still would like to find a 2K law for later. Don't find it. Just add the Rosi law here. Just take. Speed this up again. Before the video goes on too long. Half promo, so okay to swing. Doesn't trigger. Horses only hit. It's fine. We need those. Five. He triggers. And so, like, against a random boa, I would just swing again. And then, like, ideally, most would just, like, swing out, put me to 0. Like, I'll block 1, take 2, and then I'll clear the board next turn. That's, like, how the game standardly goes when I play against this matchup. But I know they know better than that. So I actually decide not to swing my promo law, because then they would just hit it. And, like, I can free block 1, take 1, but I still have to give a card for 1. And it's annoying. So not this way I don't risk another trigger and they're not getting cards out of my hand. But it does mean I'm just slowing the game down in general. So it's still worth free blocking, because now if they hit it, I get another free block plus take. So they only have 2 swings, so you still free block with it for sure. It just means we're not taking the 0 this turn, but like that's theoretically fine. I think I should just play Kuma. I think in the same vein of why I wanted to take the 0 before anyway, I could just punch the board here. And like I probably like for sure punch this. Do I not? Oh, I was trying to make Ripple live. I was being very greedy and trying to make Ripple live. I think ideally, honestly, if we had another promo law here instead of the Rosi law we grabbed that one turn, we could just punch these and go like Borsa promo law. We could still do the same thing with the Rip law. It just feels worse. And I still think it was probably correct to add the Rosi that turn. But I still think that should be our play. I think we are trying to be way too greedy in making the Rip law live. So now we have to decide if we're going to take our life to protect this law. Yeah, I want it to be a body just because, as annoying as it is, he at least draws a card off of it. So my Whiplaw would be live. But now my Whiplaw's not even live, and I'm about to take a life. It's unfortunate. I do just decide to take the life, though. Soccer that, swing 2 at it. And they actually know I don't want to swing this blocker at this point, so they block 1 for it. Again, very annoying. I think I just played this stage. Trash a brick. I don't think we necessarily want to tap out and play the blocker law in case of femur on the Kuma. It would be 16 unblockable. Yeah, it's kind of like we can live, but it's very expensive. Actually, if we tap out, I don't know if we can live. Now, we wouldn't live if we tapped out, so let's play another stage. I did all this mining scene just to make Mama Jaw live. Because I feel like this turn's gonna hurt. So I want to save as many cards as I can. Still don't have a 2K law, unfortunately. So we Mama 2. Then here we just counter with law, add it back. Here it's block 2. Then Borsa. So we're at the spot though where we're at 0. And again, multiple ways to play this. I think looking at it, I should just hit his life here, but I'm pretty sure that's not what I do. Poking 5 at that is probably fine. Like, if it dies to a 5, you're probably happy, but the rest of these swings should, like, arguably go life. But I decide I'm just going to play the board control game and he can gain the life. I think Sokka starts stage is probably where our turn should have started in the first place, but still fine now that we're back to it. I think ideally here, I know these aren't what I'd made in real time, but just looking at it again, I think play stage, try to find another Rosi Law, and like try to heal Law. I do stage find the Rosi Law, but I don't think I go heal Law here. I think my main reason not wanting to heal Law, yeah, he tried to trigger this, and technically he's not at 2 life for it, so he's down a card. Again, we've been playing for a little bit now, so it's fine. We can just like check later if that would have been relevant. But I think playing heal Law for rush here and playing Rosi Law was kind of the ideal play. It does get punished by like a teach trigger to negate the heal Law, which is why we should do that before we swing this Law. That way, if that does happen, we can still float a blocker. We're still probably fine. But I think what I do decide to do here is just stay at 1. Main reason. Also, are we at 9 Dawn? Did I not cycle? Yeah. Should have cycled stage there as well. But main reason I didn't want to heal was because I expect them to just play Boa this turn. So it feels kind of pointless. If they do that, obviously that's not what happened. Their hand is garbage. This is really good for us. This Boa probably mattered in the sense that he probably would have at least played that for 4 this turn, I assume, and then his swings would have been like 8-8 or 8-9. So that's unfortunate for them, but now we just kind of win the game basically. Moya trigger, because why not? I still don't think it necessarily changes the game if they have that 4 cost on board or even in hand. They're just missing last turn and having nothing. I assume if they had Boa, they still would have played it too. They just didn't. I just decided to double Borsa. It's probably fine to double Borsa. Like, I think there are I think it's probably a decent amount of the time correct to just heal to 1. But this had nothing else to do with the Dawn. Maybe should have swung bigger, but I also wanted to double Borsa. I wanted to leave double Borsa open in case they triggered a bunch of bodies. Just in case we needed it. But once they don't trigger, we didn't need the double Borsa, obviously. Um, so it kind of feels like we wasted a card, but Borsa is technically, like, replaces itself, basically. So it's not the end of the world or anything. It's just a weird matchup where you kind of want to be at 0 on your turn and heal to 1 at the end. Just keep controlling the board while hitting his life. I'm trying to Riplaw while healing here. I think arguably you could just like Sokka Riplaw and stay at 1 here. Just lower the boa just so it can't really hit you. But I think this play is also good. The awkward part about this play is if they counter 2 cards here. It's like you're kind of turning Riplaw off, but also don't want to not swing with it. But he does just take. If they do counter 2 cards, we go 8-8 and hope to make it live again. And if any trigger happens, you know, we reevaluate based on what happens. But they do take, so now we do all this. Just get rid of the brick. Might have 1 in life to get rid of with Departure. Trash Riplaw, play Riplaw, rip 2. Swing 8. Moya trigger, because they're better. 8. I do swing 9. I think it should maybe even be 10, but I wanted to leave up so bluff or like potential out of life. But you also really want that Borsa to die, so like maybe 10 is better. And you can just bluff the I love you, hope to get it out of life. Swing is definitely awkward. Decided to just free block. We still have Law to chunk block if he tries to pivot to Sokka. He goes up Borsa. I don't even block for it, I just let it die. That's like theoretically a mistake, to be honest, but is it even theoretical? It might just be a mistake. But we don't have to send lethal here, is the thing. Like, we have Borsa, right? We can just play another turn. So here we do math, because... Okay, yeah. We got lucky. No triggers that actually matter, right? That trigger just filters. He trashed a brick in a 1k. A Moya in a 1k. So here we can still Borsa. It's not technically math lethal. We can still Borsa and live another turn. Probably float like 2 blockers. Die to G-Blade if we only float 2, probably. Not even necessarily, I guess, but like possibly. But like it's also very unlikely for them to live, right? If we do a 2-way split, we have 9 done because we have Sokka. So 22, 11, 11. 11, 11 is not great. And we definitely die if we could go for it and don't kill, right? So it's not 11, 11, but we have Departure Mama. So if we Departure, and then swing, it's 5 plus 12. So it needs 2, 2, 2, 2, 1. Very likely to get there. Other option though is what I decided to do. I think I just swing 8, and if he ever free blocks, then we jam 14 and they're dead. Unless they have 5 2s, but that's better math. Making them have 5 2s is like better math than 3 2s or whatever it was before. 4 2s and a 1, 5 2s. But I decided to go 8, and if they give 2 2 If they block, we go 14. Like I said, if they give 2/2, we can still send a 9, which is the exact same. But if it's the exact same, then might as well just start with the move that gives less info. Again, if they free block, if they just block 8, we get to go whatever, so it's fine. Which I think is what they do. They just didn't do math. Again, then they just die to. Yeah, they weren't supposed to block the 8, but they did without doing math. We've been paying for a bit, but looking back at it, it doesn't matter with his hand. He didn't know that. Obviously, it is just a misplay. But they had up. They could get to 12. They had. Let me slow it down so I can actually look at what he counters with. I think they had 2/1/1 0 cost. 0 cost, pitch a 1, 2/1/1. Okay. So even if he counters the 8, again, technically it's not math, but if they counter the 8 with that hand, they basically have to give 0 cost 1, so they have 2 cards in hand, and then we swing 9 with, we can still departure Mama, swing 9 with Whiplaw, and then at that point it is math. So we can start 8 there, basically, is what I'm trying to get at, and, like, check for 2 2Ks, and if they ever don't have the 2 2Ks, you have math lethal, basically, and if they do, you can still try to pivot to a Boysa and put them on having, like, G-Blade. Or you could still send 9 into the 3-card hand, and, like, decent chance that gets through, right? Either way. But yeah, this game's not the cleanest from either of us. Again, also not indicative of how the matchup normally goes for me, just because most boas aren't familiar with how to play the matchup. Normally, it is much easier games, to be honest. But yeah, so that's boa. For the people asking, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I think they wanted to remain anonymous in case you don't know who it is. So thank you, friend, for letting me record games and playing. And peace.